Right now, the most important thing that we're doing is watching people play. You know, we learn a huge amount by sitting and watching people play, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't work, varying it, making sure that sort of there's this notion of local task completion, that they're getting stuff done, that they're not getting too frustrated, that they're seeing enough interesting stuff on a regular enough schedule, and then we interview them afterwards. Why do they think they were doing what they were doing? Did they have a sense of what was going on in the broader story? Were they paying attention to the story? What did they like? What did they dislike? So we just do that over and over and over, going through the game again and again and again, because that tuning of the game and getting those reactions is just the best tool we know for doing this final level of refinement on the design. For us, it's really important for the character of Gordon to be transparent, that how the player feels about what's going on and what their character is supposed to be feeling are relatively in sync. So at the beginning of the game, you're confused. The character is confused and the player is confused. What's going on? What's happened to the passage of time? The last thing I remember was this other event, and now there's this fair amount of distance between that spatially and temporally. It's like, I'm not there anymore. I'm not in Black Mesa anymore. What happened? And so even if you walk into the situation having never played Half-Life 1, you're going to be okay, because you're going to be surprised by things whether you played Half-Life 1 or not. And you know, that was one of the choices we made early on, to keep the player in sync with the game character, as well as to accommodate people who hadn't played the original game. It sort of worked on both levels. I think that one of the important things that any game developer needs to think about is, what do I need to do to be successful building the games? What do I need to do to be successful delivering to my customer, delivering an experience to my customers? And over in the industry, there are examples of projects where everybody knew what the right thing to do was, but it didn't happen for some reason. It's like 2/3 of the projects in the game industry go out too soon, if you ask me. They're not done. They were right at that elbow where a little bit of extra work would have made the game dramatically better. So, you know, it's sort of like, this is an obvious issue. So early on, we tried to make sure that we could make decisions that weren't optimized for quarterly schedules or you know, what somebody's budgetary forecasts were. And so there were things that we had to do. One of the things, for example, we have to do is we fund our own game development. This has meant that we took all the money we made from Half-Life 1 and other money we had and said, okay, rather than, you know, going and buying Ferraris, we're going to buy our next game. And everybody at the company had to buy into that. But that means now that we have the opportunity to do things we'd never be able to do if we were looking to somebody else to be taking that risk. And that's the kind of thing that I hope more game developers try to do, because I think the end result will be much better products and much better off game developers. Well, with Half-Life 1, we were trying to build the company at the same time we were building the game. And that was not a whole lot of fun, to try to do both of those things at the same time. With Half-Life 2, we have a much better team, a much stronger team. Everybody on Half-Life 1 had been through it before. People had a lot more confidence in terms of taking risks, that those risks were going to pay off. So in a lot of ways, except for the fact that it's taken an unbelievably long amount of time to do, Half-Life 2 has been a lot more fun for us than Half-Life 1. Half-Life 2 multiplayer is not something we're talking about because we want to keep it as a surprise for our customers as we roll into our launch cycle. I play it every day, so I think it's going to be very popular with the community. My position on the release date is I hate release dates, because no matter how hard we try, we screw them up. So we held back talking about our release date going into September 30th because I wanted to have a much clearer idea of what day we were going to ship on. And right now, all we can say is holidays of this year, which to me feels really unfortunate in terms of, you know, our customers want to know. They just say, tell us what the date is really going to be. That's what they want to hear. They're fine with what the date is. Just tell us what it's really going to be so they can plan accordingly. So right now it's holidays a year, and you know, I wish we had a clearer date to give people at this time.